Good morning, Cavalier Nation. I'm Era.
And I'm Aiden, and this is Cavalier Connections, the podcast that highlights the good things and people in our county.
This episode is the fourth in our series for the Port Royal Museum and the celebration of Black History Month.
Caroline County, Virginia has a rich history of African American experience, from educators and leaders to farm workers, artists, and doctors.
Today, our distinguished guest is Mr. Ronnie Smith. Mr. Smith has been servicing the community with cutting hair for 40 years. You may be familiar with his business, One Stop Barbershop, located in Smith Wright Lane in Woodford.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for joining us today. Welcome to our Cavalier Connections studio. Mr. Smith, this month we have been interviewing impressive people in our community to learn more about their vast contributions and to celebrate Black History Month. We have talked to educators, leaders, laborers, and people of faith. You are our first barber. If there is something we all have in common, regardless of color, is that we all have hair and that the majority of us need someone to cut our hair.
First, let's get to know you a little better. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into barbering? We have a large cosmetology program at CHS with many students wanting to get into barbering. Do you have opportunities like this when you're in school? How did you learn to cut hair?
Always wanted to. Well, I started wanting to around 11 years old. When I got into high school, they had a barbering lab here. That's what we just called the barbering lab. And Reverend Leroy Bray was our instructor. One of the biggest reasons was 3 periods a day, One class, I had barbering and 3 other classes. Once you got to the 11th grade. It was 11th, 12th grade, and I fell in love with it. And at the time, when we graduated, I was working with my dad. We were doing construction work, so we was laid off for the winter. And a good friend of ours, Pete Parker, his name, he came over to the house to talk to Dad. And Pete said, "Ronnie, Clyde need a barber over there in Bowling Green." He said, "Why don't you go over there and talk to him?" That was a Monday. Wednesday, I went over to Bowling Green and talked to Clyde. Clyde said, "I know your family. Sit here and wait for a minute. I want to talk to you." I got hired that night, and I've been doing it ever since. I was 20 years old.
What a nice start.
Yeah. So I stayed with Clyde. I stayed with Clyde 8 years before I moved on. I love it, man.
Black barbershops are so much more than places where people go to receive a haircut. Black barbershops have long been and continue to be central hubs of the black community, places to congregate, connect, share, and overall embrace a community. Do you agree that One Stop is one of those places? Are there people who come into your shop just to connect with you or others in there? If so, why is this important?
Well, I always tell people when they ask me, barbering. Barbering is, I feel, 60% customer relations, 40% barber. Because if you don't build a relationship, you can't continue to barber. You build a relationship with your work and your personality. People want to feel welcome. I tell people my job is to make you feel better than you did when you came here. And that's what it does. You know what I'm saying? So when you go get your hair done, aren't you happy when the barber does what you asked him to do, right? Not what he wants to do. That's how you build a relationship. I genuinely love my customers. I love them because they take care of me and I take care of them. It's family. You make it family. You make it family. Whether you're new or you're old. I have customers I've been cutting for. My best friend, I've been cutting his hair since I was 16, 40-some years.
Wow.
I got 30-year customers. I got 20-year customers. You build a relationship, but you still have to do the work. You still have to do the work.
Have you found it easy to build these relationships over all these years?
Yes. Yes, I have. I have grown. I really have. And I mean, you never stop growing. And I really have grown. With the business, family, everything, I've grown. And this business has taught me that. Because, for one, you never judge a book by its cover, for one. You learn to listen. You learn to talk. Everybody don't have someone to talk to. That's me. And I embrace that. And you have to. To stay in this business, it's all about relationships. And you do it. You do the work, for one. Do the work. But you make them feel like they're welcome. This is what I do.
Very nice line of work. Glad to hear that it's all been going smoothly.
Yeah.
What was the community like when you first started with your barbershop? We know you were in business in the Spotsy, Fredericksburg area for 30 years, but then came back to Caroline where you originally started. What changes did you see in Caroline community from when you first started to when you came back all those years later?
I've always lived here, so I've seen all the changes. I just worked in Fredericksburg. I started out in Bowling Green. It's changed. Business-wise, it has changed. When I first went to Fredericksburg, we could count the black barbershops. This is what they call. It's just where it is. On one hand. Now you can't, I don't know what you need now to count them. That's how it has grown, especially in Spotsylvania County. And we've seen that growth. So what you do is, you gotta stay on your game. This is a business where you got to stay on your game. I don't care how you feel. When you walk in the shop, you got to be on your game. That's what keep us in business through all of the growth is the relationship and staying on your game.
Since you started in Caroline and then went to Spotsy in Fredericksburg and then came back to Caroline, did you prefer working in Spotsy or Caroline? Was there any difference?
Well, it was scary, and it always is. Change is always scary. Change is always scary. Moving is scary. We were in a good area. We were in a busy area. I didn't lose one night of sleep over moving, coming home. Confidence. You have to have it. I don't care what you do. You got to have the confidence. When you got that, you don't worry. Scary, but you don't worry. I love it home. My customers follow me down here. They follow me down here. I'm picking up on new people in Caroline. It's great. It's been tough. When you're first starting out, it was long hours. It was 13, 14 hours. It was
Wow.
to build your clientele. We did all walk-ins. There was no appointments. I don't care if it was 15 people sitting there. You got to cut them. That's the way we started out. I did it that way for 40 years. I just went to appointments when I came home. Met a lot of people doing it that way. A lot of different people. A lot of people that you enjoy talking to. That's what I've met over the years.
Glad to hear.
We learned through our research that black barbershops originally served white customers only, and it wasn't until after emancipation that black customers could reap the benefits of the skills of the black barbers. That seemed like an insane idea in today's day. Barbershops are credited with being a hub for social change because they were places where black men and women could discuss social and societal reform. Do you ever think that when you opened a barbershop that your shop would have such an impact on others in your community?
That's the way I carried it. When I left Bowling Green and went on my own, I got that from Clyde. I got that from the first barbershop I worked in, the hows, the do's, and the don'ts. Then I just worked on making it better. But you can only do so much when you're working in somebody else's shop. All you can do is control yourself. You do have a certain standard. People look for that in a barber. They do. They used to more so than now. We used to go to work, ties and dress shoes, and we were professional. And this is what it is. It's a profession. That's how I carry it. I enjoy it.
Glad to hear you enjoy it.
Now, rolling back to that topic of change from earlier, trends come and go, and haircutting techniques continue to develop and change all the time. How have hairstyles changed over the years since you started barbering?
They came right back. They came right back. What y'all doing? It's been done. It's coming back. Everything you see now, we've done it, and it's coming back. That is a revolving cycle. That's the way it is. That's what I've seen the last 40 years. It'll go out, it'll come in. It'll go out, and it'll come in. The difference is the way y'all wear it. If I had your hair, I would be in the mirror for 30 minutes in the mornings getting it right. You get up in the mornings and what? Shake it? Yeah.
I just shower it up, maybe brush it once in a while.
That's the difference. It is y'all style. It's what y'all do. Don't define the person you are. It just defines your hairstyle. This is how I like to wear my hair. You know what I mean? Never let anyone judge you by your hair. Because if you got it up here,
Yeah.
that's what matters.
What's the craziest hairstyle you've ever done for someone, if you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah. Probably Bobby Brown. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know Bobby Brown. Y'all remember Bobby Brown? Oh, no, the Gumbo. This Gumbo.
Gumbo?
Saturday Night Live, Eddie Murphy. The Gumbo.
Before my time, man.
I'll have to look that up later.
It was kind of crazy. But all the stuff that y'all seeing now, we did it, man. We've been doing it. The lines are coming back. We did that 30 years ago. So it's just a revolving cycle. Y'all feeding off of us what you doing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like the way my hair looks like right now.
There you go.
I hope you do too.
I think my hair looks fine.
We read on the National Barbers Organization website that black barbershops played a big role in the hip-hop scene in the 1980s. How much impact do you think hairstyles have on pop culture?
Oh, a lot. A lot. That's where most of them come from. When you see them on the videos and you see them, that's where a lot of them come from. I've been doing a haircut for years that's real popular now. No one had never seen it. A friend of mine went to work one day and the guy in the parking lot said, "Hey, man, what kind of haircut is that?" Hey, man, low ball fade, man. It's hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's nothing new. You know what I mean? So that's the way it is.
With the hundreds of customers you've had over the years, can you tell us an interesting story about one of them? Have you ever had anyone famous or notable walk through your door?
All of them famous to me, man. All of them famous
Oh,
to
you
me.
treat them well, eh?
You know, yeah, for real, yeah. All of them famous to me. All of them famous. Yeah, it's a lot, man. I done counseled divorces. I got a customer now. It's funny in a way, but it's not funny. Before he starts a sentence, it's always funny, but it's never funny. And I tell him too, but we have a ball. But it's so many personalities. Yeah, all them celebrities to me, for real. Every one of them. Because that's the way I treat them when they come in. They feel like they're at home for real. And that's the way I like them to feel.
I'm sure they feel at home in your barbershop, too.
I get on all of them. I treat all of them the same, though.
Mm. And how is that?
They get it every once in a while. But either they're laughing when they come in or they're laughing when they're leaving. So either way is good for me.
Nice. What would you say to someone who's thinking about getting into barbering, specifically in Caroline County? Do you have any advice for them on what to do and maybe what to expect as they get started with their career?
Expect is working long hours to build your clientele. What you can expect to miss cookouts, parties, this and that. And you can expect to be late for that go-go you going to. This is if you want to be a successful barber. Now, if you just want to do a little bit here and there, you can pretty much do what you want. But I'm saying if you want to be a successful barber, it's going to take time. And I ain't talking years. I'm talking daytime. It's talking nighttime. But it's all about how far you want to go. If you're going to do it, be serious with it. And if you really love it, you can raise your family. You can vacation. You can do what everybody else do. It's a profession. So if you want to go into it, treat it as such, and you will be successful. It's all about you, you know? It's all about me
Mm-hmm. Got to put that effort into it.
all day long.
Blood, sweat, tears, pair of clippers, too.
My mama used to be like, "Boy, where you going?" It's 9:30 at night. I done left my construction job, come home. She said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to the shop, Mom." She said, "It's 9:30. I said, "Yeah, I know." But at the time, had a little bill junk across the street. Don't let out to 12, 11 o'clock. Go in the shop, make $100, come on home. It's all about what you want to do. It's all about the effort that you put in it. But you got to like it. It's nothing that you go into, "I want to make this money, make this money." But if you don't like it, it's not going to work. You got to really love what you do to do it.
Thank you. We know we have taken up some of your valuable time today, so we'll wrap things up.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your time and insight on Cavalier Connections today. And thank you for your inspiring words and generosity of time that you can afford to us and our community, especially with your haircutting shop. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us today.
You have been listening to Cavalier Connections, a production of the Cavalier Nation News produced by Mass Media and Innovation at Caroline High School.
I'm Ara, signing off for today.
And I'm Aiden, and we'll make more connections next time.